It's time now to go inside innovation, brought to you by Allegiant, pioneering safety. Well, Indianapolis-based MetaCX is a high alpha studio company that raised more than $14 million in early funding to transform, it says, how businesses manage their customers and how customers manage their vendors. Scott McCorkle is the founder of the company, and CEO and President Jake Sorofman is leading MetaCX from his home base in North Carolina. But even remotely, he's been immersed in the indie tech sector. And I'm pleased to welcome into the show to talk about MetaCX, also the customer room that could be perhaps Indy's South by Southwest. Jake, thanks for joining us from just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Thank you, Gary. It's great to be here.
Yeah, well, before we get into some of the meat here, I wanted to touch on the model for MetaCX. Another successful high alpha company, raised $14 million, launching in 2018. Customer lifecycle management software, SaaS company. Give us the thumbnail model of MetaCX.
Yeah, at the highest level, MetaCX is a platform that helps companies and their customers win together. And what I mean by that is that too often, suppliers and buyers of software and digital services really don't understand each other. And we think the essence of that misunderstanding is around what the customer is trying to achieve when they purchase software. No one buys software because they think, you know, it has cool features and it's neat. They buy software because they have some business challenge that they want to solve for. And companies do a pretty poor job at documenting, much less proving that they're achieving those outcomes on behalf of their customer. So that's exactly what MetaCX is doing, is providing a consistent way for suppliers and buyers to align around a shared view of success and to use that as sort of the steel thread that runs through the relationship that we're always referring back to and tracking progress against with real data.
Yeah, Jake, want to give people an idea of your background. As I mentioned, MetaCX raised $14 million, big capital raise there. You came on board as president and CEO of the company in the spring. Your background is very substantial in the tech world.
Yeah, so I joined in April as president and Scott as CEO.
Okay.
But I spent the better part of 3 years as CMO of a company called Pendo in Raleigh, which was a bit of a rocket ship ride. It grew really, really fast. When I joined the company, just over 100 employees. When I left, 450. We raised $150 million, grew to $1 billion valuation. Just a really extraordinary, fulfilling professional experience. And before that, I was a VP and chief of research at Gartner, looking after digital marketing and CMO topics. And that's where I got to know Scott McCorkle, when he and crew were at ExactTarget, and then through the Salesforce acquisition. So really thrilled to join him here.
Jake, give us the thumbnail on the customer room. It's an event that's coming up that you and others at MetaCX really have some big expectations for.
Yeah, so the customer room is a digital event that we are hosting the week of September 21st. It's a 5-day event, but don't worry, we're not asking people to sit in their home offices for 5 days straight. We have sort of a flexible registration model, 2 sessions per day, 25 speakers. Register for whatever you're interested in. Ignore the rest, or better off, watch them later on demand. Yep. And this is really focused on sort of rethinking customer experience and customer relationships in a pretty trying time for a lot of companies.
Yeah, give us quickly, South by Southwest is an iconic event, really a trendy event down in Austin, Texas. You really think that this could be, in some level, over time, that kind of an event for Indiana?
Well, look, I mean, we're modest people, so it's flattering to think of it in those terms. But we do take inspiration from events like that, and we see this as an opportunity to really experiment with the medium and make it a bit eclectic. We've partnered with some really well-known musicians from Nashville who have been displaced by COVID-19, and they're both entertaining our audience, and also we've given them a platform to deliver a social message around what it means to be a creative artist in a time like this, when you're dependent on touring and things like that just simply don't exist.
Very good.
So yeah, we do have a bit of a social mission associated with this as well.
Very good. Jake Sorofman is the president at MetaCX. Jake, thanks for joining us. We look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for joining us from North Carolina.
My pleasure. Thanks, Gary.
All right.